Hey, so this is a mental health video. It's May, and that is Mental Health Awareness Month. And I wanted to talk about it, but I didn't want to leave you with nothing, so you're gonna watch me build kind of a tropical ocean pool thingy in the background. Um, yeah, that's what the background is. But I'm really just gonna be talking, no real music, but talking about mental health, why it matters, why you matter, ways to help, ways like to help with your mental health, ways I helped with my mental health, ways you can help deal with it, ways that you can help try to form connections that matter to you. Um, so, first off, in the US, 1 in 5 adults experience some form of diagnosed mental illness. A lot of adults don't get diagnosed. It, one, costs money for an appointment, and with the US health system, it's awful. It costs a lot of money. It, two, takes time and effort, and especially when you're not feeling well, you don't want to go in for a health appointment just to get diagnosed with something you realistically might already know you have. So that number is more likely 2 in 5 if I'm being real. That is 40% of all people in the US having a mental health issue. That is, I don't know if that clicks for you, but to me that's insane. I When I was younger, I struggled with mental health. It was not started in COVID. It started a lot earlier. Genuinely, when I was around 9, I dealt with really bad depression and I guess what you could call apathy. Um, and I felt really stuck. I couldn't really break out. I felt like that nothing really mattered, and I didn't care to change. I didn't care to do anything, to change anything in my life, to do anything new, try to do anything fun, to talk to people, to go outside, to do anything. I kind of let my body, as the years went on, I'm a teenager now, I was just letting my body crumble away. Freshman year in high school, I didn't care how I looked, how I felt. If anything, feeling bad was a good thing to me. It felt kind of victifying, not victifying, vindicating. It felt justified. There we go. It felt like maybe I deserved it. Um, and I never felt like killing myself. Um, Sorry, I should have told you I'm talking about suicide, but I will be talking about suicide. I never felt like I mean, I feel like I did, but I never acted on an attempt because and like a lot of people also in the world, think how suicide is selfish, and to do so, you're only inflicting pain onto more people, which is true. It being selfish is a different conversation because each person's situation is different. But it being selfish, not selfish, it hurting others is definitely true. I knew that if I killed myself, the person I was closest to, which would be my mom, would be left with nothing but pain. And for a lot of people out in the world, you killing yourself will only leave more pain in the world. But where does that leave you? Because for me, that was, well, I'm not going to kill myself, but I don't want to live. I don't want to exist. I don't want to do anything. I hate going out. I hate doing this. I hate doing that. I don't want to do anything. I didn't really lash out. I just sat there in my own despair, so to speak, and nothing was changing. Nothing felt like it was happening or doing anything different. Um, and for me, what I felt like I needed, no, that's not what I meant to say. So, what I did want to bring up, first off, not first off, but what I wanted to bring up was a little statistic I saw a long time ago. I think it was I don't think I looked it up. It's right here. It's 50% of people get a lifetime mental illness by ages 14, and 75% of those people by ages 25, by age around 25. Sorry, 25, 24. 14. 14 years old is when some people get a lifelong mental illness. That's insane. That be bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, anxiety issues, or hold on, there's a list that I can look at. Um, Borderline personality disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, the two types of bipolar disorders, post PTSD, substance abuse disorder, and major depressive disorder, anxiety disorders, any of that for an entire life. And for me, that was me. That was me. Um, for pretty much a decade. Like I'm 19 now, turning 20, and I really only broke out of this like a year ago, almost a decade of hating every single part of my life, and it only got worse as I got older. When I was 14 to 16, it was awful. No, 14 to 17. 14 to 17, it was awful. It was only in my senior year of high school that I didn't I did I wasn't able to sorry. Um I again didn't lash out, so I wasn't very vocal. A lot of people aren't. A lot of people don't want to talk to people. It's whether it's embarrassing, whether it's uncomfortable, whether it's annoying, whether it's painful, or whether it's just plain something you don't want to do. Talking to someone can be very hard, even if it's a close friend. Going to a therapist, that can be even harder. But it's it can be hard, right? And I eventually went to therapy for a different reason, not even due to my mental health issues, which was insane, thinking back on it. But um, what was? But so I got help through therapy. But what they don't tell you about therapy is that therapy isn't for everyone. Therapy doesn't work for some people, and that seems insane to say, but it doesn't. It just doesn't work for some people. It's not a lot. It's maybe 10, 20% of people that doesn't work for. And it didn't work for me. Um, it didn't work for me, and um, I hated it. I hated every second therapy. Every week I would have to go to a session was a reminder of of the fact that I had to go to therapy. That therapy was even needed, and it made me feel even worse. And I wasn't even going for my reasons. And so the fact I was feeling affected by it is crazy. But I hate therapy. It brought me so much anxiety that I wasn't having. Um, so it sucked. I hated it. It made me feel angry. I hated the therapist. And she wasn't doing anything wrong. I didn't like her as a person, and I don't think she was the greatest therapist ever. But she wasn't a bad person. But I hated therapy so much that I kind of just expressed my hate onto her. Um, so therapy can be very hard for other people. To want to go through therapy, to want to do it, is a challenge, is a lot of effort and work. Um, and again, it's not for everybody. It didn't really help me, and I didn't, for my issues, but for the thing I was getting help for, I didn't really get help. I got okay. I want to give therapy credit. It works for the people it works for incredibly well. Even for me, get, who it didn't really work for, it still helped me a little bit. It still gave me that extra little bit of push or that starting kind of building blocks that got me working towards something or got me in a direction that was better or maybe just stopped me from falling even further in that thing. I went for an OCD therapy, which wasn't my big thing, but no one knowed. No one knew I had this big depression, severe depression. Um, so no one said anything. Uh, no one not said anything. No one knew. No, no one knew, so no one did anything about it. Obviously, right? I never talked to anyone about it. I didn't want to. Uh, so therapy, gave me a push in my helping my OCD. It stopped me from getting worse, which allowed me to reassess and get better. I um, I got OCD during COVID, and COVID damaged a lot of people. It I think it's I'm looking at it. Let me find it. 1 in 15 adults, um, adults who had a recognized substance abuse disorder or mental illness, either got a substance abuse disorder or got a mental illness. 1 in 15, and then 1 in 5 U.S. adults reported that the pandemic had a very significant detrimental impact on their mental health. To that, in youth from 12 to 17, 1 in 6 experienced a major depressive episode. So, something really bad. 3 million kids had serious thoughts of suicide. And then ages 18 to 25, 1 in 3 experienced mental illness. That's like it sucks. And I am one of those 1 in 3, right? I was. It gave me OCD. The pandemic affected a lot of people in different ways, whether it was the being closed off from others, whether it was um, having to adjust to a new cycle, a new life, maybe a new job, um, new sleep. Maybe it's like something like a new sleep schedule that can really affect you. If people don't realize how much sleep can affect you, so of course, it's going to give you not give you, but it's going to add on to the already issues and the nervousness that was the pandemic. Adjusting to new stuff is already a big tryst, a big effort. So to do that on top of a global pandemic is going to be a lot. Um, I think, yeah, 30% of young adults experienced mental illness in 2024. And that's not from COVID, that's just in total. So I can, you could think of how COVID could make that worse. And I'm looking at the timer right now. This video has been going for a while. It's probably gonna go for a little while longer. I'm sorry, but I think it's important. Um, so like, therapy can, help you. It can stop you. It can get you grounded and let you help build yourself up. Or it can, if it works, if one of the people like it works for you, it can give you the tools and the help needed to genuinely change in a way that you might think is better. Therapy can really help. But therapy is scary. The first session is going to be horrifying. To think that you are one of those people that needs help is a scary thought. But therapy in itself isn't scary. Therapy, most people are doing it online nowadays. Let me look that up actually. Uh, access. Oh, I think it's up here. Ding 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 ding. Okay, never mind. No, I can't find it. A lot of people are getting treatment, you know, online, so it feels less scary. But in person can feel horrifying. But I want you to know that they are just some dude, some random girl, some random woman or dude. They're not some, crazy evil scientist. They're just some dude like you, some girl like you. They are just trained to help people. That's their only difference. They are not, you know, out to get you. And if they are, because, there are people out there that get in the job early. Like, they try to go for these jobs because of that. They're usually not allowed to continue. They're usually found out really easily. And if they're not, you can tell really easily. A good therapist is easy to tell. And if a therapist thinks they can't help you, they will, uh, quote unquote, quote, fire you, unquote. And that's also okay. Um, a therapist wants you to be better. They want you to find the best therapist that can help you. And if they think that's not them, then that's not them. Um, so it's important to try to get help. But again, therapy isn't for everyone. Therapy's scary. Even what I've said maybe won't be enough to push you. There's also no shame in therapy. I want to say. Sorry, but I went off track. There's no shame in getting therapy. It's not something to be ashamed about. I was ashamed about it. I was very angry about it, and I didn't again lash out. But it's a lot. It's a lot to get used to. It's a lot to change to spend. If it's like every week or every 2 weeks, to that is a big thing. Um, but it's really not. Uh, like my therapist tried to be friends with me. Tried to be friends with me. It didn't work. I didn't like her. I wasn't rude to her. So yeah, you know, therapy isn't scary. But for some people, therapy isn't what's going to work, and maybe you just don't want therapy. Um, and it comes to the topic of how do I broach the topic of maybe not getting help, but trying to get help from others that are close to you. How do I broach that topic with them? How do I bring up that, hey, I'm not doing well? Or, hey, I want things to change. This is affecting me in this way. And for me, I never came out and said that. Um, I never talked to the people close to me and said I wasn't doing well. Not once in my life. I would bottle it up. But recognizing, not recognizing, understanding what I went through, try to help those close to me, or not even those close to me, just those I know, in being, in getting that help, talking to them, trying to recognize the signs, and I've seen what they've done with me, and I want to share some of that with you to maybe help broach that topic. Um, so again, it's not going to be some big, you come to them like, I'm doing awful, I have depression, blah, blah, blah. It's going to more than likely be like, hey man, you free? Like, can we talk for a second? Or like, hey, how are you feeling about this and this? Um, and you just, you know, you want to, again, if they're close to you, maybe they're not really that close to you. They they don't they aren't hating that you're coming to them for help, right? Let's be real here. If they are hating that you're coming to them for help, then they aren't close to you, and they aren't your friend. But then you should realize that they aren't your friend. You should know that already by that point, hopefully. But it's not something big to broach. It's not something big to come to. Like a friend came to me, and he used to be really not used to. He is. Actually, it's not even the thing he came to me about. Damn. He came to me because he was having really bad family issues. I won't give any details, right? That's his own thing. And those issues, he was lashing out things that were the problems that were happening in his family, and he was lashing out at his uh, friends and family that weren't like they weren't causing they're having family issues, but they weren't being like bad to him. Sorry, no issue, no details. Um, and it was turning him into a bad way. It was like turning down a bad path. He was having serious suicidal thoughts. What he came to me with was just, hey man, um, I'm not feeling the greatest. Like what's hey, I'm not in really the mood to do what I normally do. What's a good thing to do instead? Or what's a good thing to do for this, or like at this area in the house, because I'm very secluded, so I knew what to say. It's like giving someone, helping, helping someone with things to do, ways to branch out, to give them things to help themselves. that is most of helping your own mental health or someone else's mental health, is letting them do most of the process themselves. 80% of it, because 80% of it is going to have to be themselves. Because if it isn't, then they haven't truly helped themselves. They may seem happier, but they just have another issue that's tacked on. They're now reliant on you, maybe. Um, so that's scary, but you have to let them do most of the work. So if you want to get help, don't think it's big. It may be, if you don't want them to know, ask for things to do for this, or ask, for certain ways you can do this, this, and that. Things that maybe could help you, or could, um, you know, let you change, or just talk to them. Get a long conversation going, and slowly but surely, talk about, yeah, this thing sucked. It made me feel really bad. And not say you have depression, but just say that made me feel awful. Just one thing made me feel awful. And they'll help you with that one thing. And you can take that help and branch it further. Or maybe if you're brave, just drop it casually in conversation. When I came out to my friends as bisexual, it wasn't a big thing. It was just randomly in conversation. I was like, um, and like my friends used to be, it was like that time where people thought being like homophobic was cool. And I was like, that's not really cool. It's like, I don't really get it, Like, being bisexual myself, it's not like a big thing. It was like, I was bisexual, so it's not really like a big thing or like a big crazy thing. It's not like I'm hitting on guys randomly more than I am girls. Uh, and they just looked at me for a second and went, oh, are you bisexual? I went, yeah. I went, yeah. And that was that. If you say things with confidence, people just accept it. That's not even a rule for just coming out for stuff. That's just a rule in life. You say things with confidence and like an aura to you, people just accept it and are willing to run with it. Like it'll be a lot more accepted. Um, so yeah, that's ways you can help. I'm sorry if I didn't help that much. I didn't come out personally, just what I've seen with others. Um, and what if you don't want to come out? If therapy isn't for you, if coming out to your friends or family with help for help isn't also for you, because again, neither of those were for me. You have now come to the very right person and the worst person you could have come to, because I am the knower on this topic. I'm the knower. Um, so finding help in your surroundings was what helped me get over it when I was, 18, 17. For a long time in my life, I would watch this YouTuber, and they weren't like a mental health YouTuber or anything. They weren't like trying to do that. Um, but I just enjoyed their content. Uh, and they were a constant for me. Little things that you enjoy, even if you don't realize you enjoy it, or maybe you do, but it's not something big. That I think really matters. That was what allowed me to make my day a little bit better. My day would feel agonizing, but that little YouTube video was what make my day, that extra little bit bearable. Or if I had a bad day, I could rush and go watch a video they posted, maybe rewatch an old one. I enjoyed it very dearly. Um, and I was so used to watching their videos for so long, um, that they became kind of a source of comfort. And the things they would do, the creativity they had, um, it's like, well, to me, they were like this great being. I had glorified them. Um, and I still do. I haven't stopped. And that's unhealthy. But what I'm trying to say is finding inspiration in others. Like, wow, this person's so great at this, they're so great at that. And in the beginning, that can feel awful. Like, God, they're so amazing at this thing. Why can't I be anywhere near as good as them? I hate how they're so amazing at this, and I am nowhere near them. And it feels like that. It really does. It really, really does. But taking that, and even if you're taking that anger, and It's just taking that inspiration, trying to, even if it's very slowly. Maybe it's working out. You find a fitness YouTuber you really like, or fitness content creator you really like, and you're like, man, I wish I was anywhere near as fit as him. And maybe it's anger or sadness, but you take that emotion that you feel from it and you let it kind of drive you to become a little bit better. And another thing to that is consistency is key. Getting help isn't some big one task, one Herculean effort that you have to do. It's a constant little or medium effort thing that you have to do that um, is going to probably take a while. It's not going to be instant. It's not going to be easy, realistically. But consistency is key. Making sure you're constantly trying to maybe branch out, try a hobby, find that inspiration, that creativity. Like for me, that was that YouTuber. Um, and the way I healed in the end was very unhealthy. So I'm not even going to talk about that because I don't want anyone to find the ways I did it, think of the ways I did it, hear it, and try to use that because that's not healthy. But another healthy way is let it drive you. Let your bad emotions not turn into good ones. Or if you can, great, right? But that's not realistic. It's not what's going to happen. But to let it take you to a new level, to drive you to do that same thing with that emotion and just try to get a little bit better. You're gonna, for me, I have no talent at anything artistic. I suck so bad. It takes so much effort to be even the littlest bit good at anything artistic. It takes an unhealthy amount of time and an unhealthy amount of effort. But with effort, no, with effort, with time, I get that little bit extra good. With consistency, I get a little bit better. If it's art, I learn to get better at drawing a face. If it's, um, like cosplaying, I know a little bit better of how proportions work or how to do hair. And that matters. Trying to find inspiration in the things around you, the people around you, maybe. Again, on the internet, that helps. That's a very easy source to get. The internet can rile you up so quickly, but you can take that anger and bring it somewhere better. Use it something for better. Even if you're not really realizing you're doing it, because I really didn't. But like for me, again, it was unhealthy, but that content creator was the only way I was able to branch out and change for the better. They were my saving grace. I had severe suicidal thoughts damn near every day. And they were long. I hated it. I hated every single little inch of my life. But I tried to be better. I tried to let the emotions that that creator gave me and tried to do something more. Um, but even though I've told you how to change, and I hope that helped a little bit, um, why does it matter? If Because to me it didn't matter. I didn't realize I was doing it a little bit, and I didn't want to change really. I didn't think I mattered. Um, you know, and that's a very hard mindset to get out of. But why do you matter? And that's the title of the video. I give you all this stuff just to finally get to this. Sorry it took so long. And that's not a concrete answer. Why do you matter? Um, is it, you know, the things you give to your community? Maybe not. Maybe, like me, you were resigned, didn't go outside much, so you didn't have much of an effort and an impact in your community. Is that to your family? Well, maybe you were like me. Maybe you didn't have much of a family to begin with, and maybe you didn't talk with them at all. The ones you did have, really. So, what then? Um, well, is it then the impact you have online with maybe online friends, or the impact you have with your friends? Is it the impact you have with, you know, yourself? Is it the impact you have in your room? Like, how lived in a room can feel? Is it the impact you have with like a pet, maybe? And while you think of that, while you think of the impact you have, I also want you to think of the impact, or of the lack of impact, you'll take away, the space you'll remove once you're gone, once you're not there anymore. For me, I said suicide was selfish, and that was the way I stopped myself from going through suicide or having an attempt. But the way I want you to think is the space you're going to take away. Again, a room that's lived in. If you're not there, it's blank, it's empty, feels open, kind of hostile. A room that isn't lived in and cozy to me, that's far too open, feels uncomfortable, um, fills me with a weird type of anxiety. And I think if you can think of just ways that you'll take away when you're gone, does that make sense? Um, Things that will be gone when you're gone. And think about the big things for a little second. I'll give you three. And if you thought about that, I want you to think of the little things. What, when you have a conversation with someone you're close to, what's something like, let's say your mom, when you maybe make her laugh, will that snort, if it is a snort, my mom likes to snort, will that ever happen again? Will that, these little, like, let's say you have a handshake with your friend, that's going to be gone. The little things in a conversation that goes unnoticed, that when you're gone, will never happen again. When you're gone, will forever feel unfulfilled and feel desolate. Will a conversation now feel incomplete and just empty? Will that little crinkle you give to someone's eyes when they smile because you said something funny or nice or cute or whatever, will that ever return in that certain way? People have happiness and joy and love, but it, it's different slightly for every single person. You may feel happy when you're talking to a friend or a piece of a family member, but that joy is ever so slightly different, even if it's the same action, the same time, the same thing that made you laugh or smile. It's just ever so slightly different because it's a different person, a different thing you've built up, a different relationship you built up with them. Um, that type of joy that you specifically give them, will never appear again. The impact you'll leave or take away when you are gone is, even if you're like me, who had no friends, no family, nothing, that no one he talked to, or you talked to. Again, I'm giving myself as an example. Um, with the little people you do talk to, you'll leave nothing, you'll leave pain, you'll leave hurt, you'll leave sadness, and you'll take away so much. You'll leave an empty room, unused clothes, an unused equipment. You'll leave them there to rot, and the impact you left will be felt for so long. Whether you realize it or not, you have an impact. People care for you, whether you realize it or not. Maybe it's not a lot. Maybe you don't have friends or family like I did. I had only one person in my life that cared for me, and that was my mom. So, but maybe it's a pet. When I had a dog and a cat, I have a cat now, but my dog passed away when I was in 8th grade. Or was it 10th? Sorry, I told you I have really bad depression, and I also have really bad memory issues, so I don't really remember. Everything's kind of in a weird haze in my life. Only the importance, only like, not important, but only the stuff that wasn't sad breaks through my memory. So 8th to 10th grade, somewhere in between that, my dog died. And my cat was never really the same. My dog was really frail and also very small and didn't understand how to play with my cat also. That was like the main thing. And she would always try to play with him. He was so cute. But the cat would like swat at him, and the dog would be like, huh? He wouldn't get like scared or anything. He was actually very adventurous. He'd try to he would try to like beef with like the biggest dogs ever, and would not be scared. But he just didn't understand what was happening. Like, what's that? What's happening? He also didn't think the cat was like a threat, because to him, the cat was family. And the cat never tried to play like that again. She never really swatted. She it took a long time, but she started swatting again with me. But it's not the same. That kind of like dance they had where she would like swat and kind of like bam bounce off doesn't happen anymore. With me now, it's she'll like go on like a full attack and we'll just kind of play around for a while, but she doesn't really move, if that makes sense. It's not that kind of like they're like like hopping together in a field, if that makes sense. The cat and the dog were close. They were like family, and they were. But that type of play and bapping never happens. It's gone forever. Maybe not forever if we got another dog. No, I don't think it would be the same. It was only because my dog was the way he was that she played in that specific way. And that will never happen again. And if that's you, certain things, certain interactions and conversation will never happen again. You matter. People care for you, whether you think it or not. Even if it's little, it's there. Your interactions and conversation matter. You aren't dumb. You aren't stupid. You may have stupid moments. We all do. You may have a stupid period. We all do. But you have the potential to be really smart. The mega me to be really smart. You have so much things you can give into the world. So many things you've already given. Effort, time, blood, sweat, tears that you give out into the world. You've already given so much effort, so why stop now? Why give up now? If it's so much pain to keep living, why give up on all that effort? You're already so far. Please, please, just think of what you have. Think of ways that you could potentially feel better, try to be better, try to get better. You matter. You really do. I will most likely never meet anyone who ever watches this video. And that's fine. But I still think you matter. Because if you saw this video, maybe you needed it. Or maybe you didn't, and maybe this is just a way to teach other people how to help other people. Either way, you still matter. This video hopefully mattered to you. This is an impact I left, right? You watching left an impact. Think about it with the algorithm. You watching left an impact that the algorithm thinks, oh, more people should watch this then. You could help more people. Just you watching. You matter. Everything you do matters. Every little decision, every little thought. So, when things get tough, please just try to think about what I said and maybe branch out a little bit. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you take care of yourself. Thank you for your time. It's important. Thank you for your viewership. That's also important. Have an amazing day. Have an amazing week. I'll see you when I see you. And I'll be doing this same type of video every year in May. Make sure I don't forget, okay?